What is going on, community? It is TJ, aka Flash by Night, and we are back here with another episode of Catching Up with the Comics. And today we are catching up with Moon Knight, issue number 14, the first appearance of Stained Glass Scarlet. The reason we are catching up with this book is twofold. At the end of next month, of course, unless you've been hiding under a rock, you know that Moon Knight is getting a show on Disney Plus, which I am extra hyped for. But even sooner than that, Wednesday this week, barring unforeseen circumstances, barring any shenanigans, barring any craziness that has frankly been going on with the comic industry and my purchasing, we are getting Moon Knight issue number 8, and there are hints that Stained Glass Scarlet, who doesn't make a lot of appearances, will appear in Moon Knight issue number 8 on Wednesday. So I want to, for those of you who are like me and actually haven't picked this book up and opened this book and read it, I wanted to kind of come and go over with you and also see what I've been missing out on, because it's not really a big secret. I have a lot of the volume 1 Moon Knight books, but because you know they're nice Moon Knight books, I don't touch a lot of them. I haven't read through a lot of them. I'm gonna have to try and catch up, probably on Comixology, but this is more of a reader copy of this book, so I decided to take it out and read it. So go ahead, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and we are going to get into Moon Knight issue number 14. Now, we open up with a lady in red, or Scarlet, so I guess you know who this is, who basically for the last 3 years has been living in this abandoned church. The church has been inoperable for like 7 to 8 years. Nobody's been there. It's run down. It's rotting. But this lady has been living here for 3 years, pretty much a recluse. She goes from downstairs in the basement to upstairs on the roof looking at stars, back down again, melancholy, up and down. She's just living in this church. This is her life for the past 3 years, and we really don't know why right off the bat. But the book kind of jumps around to 3 different places after letting you know that she's in this church. It also kind of hints to you that A, there is a mad dog on the loose, and B, she feels some sort of loss while she's in this church. But then we kind of find out that this mad dog was the Joe Fascinero has broken out of prison. He's running the streets, causing all kind of hate, mayhem, all kind of havoc. But on the side, you have Stephen Grant and Marlene, who is his girlfriend, which is really funny, because as a side note, I've always understood that Moon Knight was Mark Spector, and Jake Lockley and Stephen Grant were kind of his side personas, even though I know with the DID, the dissociative identity disorder, I know it gets mixed up in there a little bit, but I always assumed that we know he is Mark Spector as the main person, as the dominant personality. But in this book, Marlene, who is his girlfriend, calls him Steven the whole time. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. I'm gonna have to read more on that. But she and Steven are basically at home enjoying a night off from Moon Knight. There's, you know, they're getting to reflect and look where they've both come from and how far they've come. And then over the radio, this mad dog Fascinero has broken out, causing mayhem downtown, shooting at cops, robbing places. And so All of this quiet night lovey-dovey goes out the window. Moon Knight has to go and do Moon Knight things. Marlene wishes him off, wishes him well. He takes off with Frenchie in the moon copter, and basically they go to chase down this Mad Dog. And while they're chasing down this Mad Dog, we kind of, you know, well, of course we get to see Moon Knight find Mad Dog and his henchmen, and Moon Knight kind of puts the boots to most of them, but Mad Dog does get away, and he is going to a particular place. He is heading towards this church, which leads us to catch up with Stained Glass Scarlet and actually get a good backstory for her. Stained Glass Scarlet was a nun. She either wanted to be an actress or a nun. She chose the nun, but she kind of feels like, even though she chose the nun, she really chose to be an actress, because she still never kind of felt that 100%. But also, as a nun, she basically got the chance to rehabilitate somebody who has been, you know, not a great guy himself. He comes to the church looking, it's Catholic church, so he's looking to the Father to kind of confess his sins. Father's not there, so he wants to confess his sins to her. 6 months later, they're married, which I don't think she can do. But as soon as they're married, all of that bliss goes out the window. He's not a great guy. He goes back to whatever he was doing. She gets pregnant, has a baby. He never even comes to the hospital. He treats her terribly or whatever. And then he goes and commits crime and gets shot dead by the police, which leaves an impression on her, but also leaves an impression on her son, Joe. So Joe now is fatherless, and he's running the streets. He's running with the wrong crowds. He's 14, 15, not talking to his mom anymore. I don't know how he's still living in the house that way, but that's a whole side note. And around the age of 19, he also, like his father, gets in legal trouble, but he gets locked up for life. And this was 3 years ago, when Scarlet decided everything's wrong and she leaves everything behind. She moves into this church, and that's why she's been in this church for the past 3 years. Now Joe is out. Joe wants to come to the church because Joe wants the money that's in the church, because his father left money in the spot where he dragged an angel out of heaven. That's what he says. And so he kind of knows that the church is the location of the money. And I don't know if Scarlet knows that or not, but we're going to find out, because Moon Knight knows where to go. Joe knows where to go. Scarlet's already there. And we have this conflict between all of them, which even leads to it even leads to Joe shooting Moon Knight. And then, if I can turn my pages, it leads to Scarlet eventually shooting Joe, and Joe actually ringing the church bell by accident, where the money is hidden and where the money falls out. And that's about the end of the story. Stained Glass Scarlet doesn't show herself to be an enemy of Moon Knight right then. In fact, Moon Knight, probably because he's injured, pretty much after all of this is resolved, goes back to his mansion with Marlene. I assume that Scarlet left with the money, but that's kind of where we leave it. We're unresolved at the end of this issue. But that's basically our introduction to Stained Glass Scarlet in Moon Knight issue number 14. I really, to be honest, gave a really rough cover of this book because there's a lot of other things. There's a lot of musical references, book references in this book that, you know, it may have gone over my head, but I enjoyed this book a whole lot. I want to continue to go back and kind of follow the trail of stained glass Scarlet. I never get that right. I want to continue to follow her trail through the first volume of Moon Knight and see exactly where they run afoul of each other, because in this book they don't really run afoul of each other, but she does indeed get her first kill, which is her son, which tells you that whoever she runs afoul of has trouble, because if she'll kill her son, she doesn't have a problem with you. But that was Moon Knight issue number 14, my short thoughts. If you enjoyed yourself, if you like this video, hit that like button. And if you want to keep up with me, catching up with some of my comics, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Of course, feel free to leave comments. We're going to try to do this more often, try to catch up with some books that either mean something for one of the runs that I'm enjoying, or for something that's coming up that you may want further information about. But as we always do at this time, love yourself, love others, and Stained Glass Scarlet will be back in a flash.